Hello. Hey, so what did I see? Somebody out there. I watched a couple of Frosthaven streams from a couple of ladies out there. I saw they were the first two that came up when I was looking to research a little bit on the difficulties that people run into with Frosthaven. I mean, difficulties like in it's difficult. That's they didn't really have much to say on that. That wasn't really where they were coming from. One girl just gushed all over the game. I didn't get her name. I'm sorry. I was just went through them first time. They were well done videos, no doubt. These were actually edited. Um, they were recorded videos. No real feedback. No crossing between. Not like mine where are live and they're kind of low grade. So I apologize for that. My videos are a little less, a little more casual. I don't spend a lot of time on the editing room. I do occasionally, but not often. So anyway, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to try in about 30 minutes do a quick rundown of the starting classes of Frosthaven. Now, this is not, like I said, I haven't played all these characters. There's one of these two girls, as far as I know, she played like 30 scenarios already, and she got it in November, and that was through December. She was basically doing a scenario a day. I don't know where she's at now. She's probably done with the game. I'm thinking I'll get done in a year because I'm doing it once a week. Of course, if I keep losing, not so much. I got a plan for that though, and it kind of comes down to these characters, the character classes. Now, I have been running a Banner Spear, and a BlinkBlade, two two classes that worked well for my thematic choice. Um, I let's see if I can turn this screen right so it's not. Whoa. All right, so let's do this, and then this, and so we'll try this. Will that turn it correctly? No, my screen won't rotate, so I have to apologize. It doesn't look like it's going to let me rotate my screen. Let's see if I can do this. If I do it this way, I think I may just have to edit it. Dang it. I'm going to have to edit it. Let's see here if I can just bear with me for a half a moment while I get the pictures pointing in the right direction. If I can figure out my... Ah, there we go. So we need to do this guy. There we go. Yeah, just fill it up. It's not the most elegant solution, but there we go. Try that again. All right, so what I want to do first is introduce you to Cesar. Cesar is a bard. He is the storyteller of this campaign. He travels with Royce and Adrian and whoever happens to be with them at the time. And he is there as the bard who stands in the back of the room, tries to stay out of trouble, tries not to die, and just gathers in the story and tells you what's going on. He has a power, though. He's got a magic power. It's what transports these guys back to Frosthaven when they die, or exhaust, or whatever it is they do. He's the guy who makes sure that their bodies get picked up. He generally picks up a little bit of whatever they have on them, but not all of it, and teleports them back before, what? It's not a good story if your heroes die, right? I mean, it's tragedy. He's not big into tragedies. Cesar, he wants to tell a good story, and he wants to have an opportunity to see these guys succeed, and so he's got a story to tell. But if they get knocked out, he's got to take them back, let them recover, and try again. And so he's the background voice. So whenever he's talking, they know he's there. They know of Cesar, but they also know that he can't fight worth a darn. That's not his thing. He's got a teleportation skill, a couple of other little skills he's gained over the years to keep himself out of trouble, and ultimately he really doesn't have anything else going for him other than his storytelling capabilities. And as such, you're going to see Cesar more and more often. He's feeling a little gray right now, but he'll start getting some color as the blood runs back into the bodies of his friends that have found themselves yet again unconscious, trying to beat themselves against a tree in winning this this scenario here. Which brings me back to what I'm trying to do. Okay, so we're going to do a quick review. Now, I have done BlinkBlade and Banner Spear, like I said, as a thematic choice. To me, they were the closest match to two of my favorite characters from a book series called the Ryeria Chronicles. And there's actually a prequel series as well as the main. And they are Royce and Adrian. Royce and Hadrian. This is Royce and Adrian because they're two guys, and this is a guy and a girl, and I figured Adrian was a better female name, so I went with Adrian. Don't get me with the gender stuff. Don't care. That's what I chose. So, Royce and Adrian are struggling as a pair. They're not a real cohesive pair. You think they know each other better with all the travels through the Ryeria Chronicles and the prequels, that they would be, gelling. They don't gel. And they don't really have the same abilities as the two characters in the books either, so it's a little different. Royce is a better match as the BlinkBlade. Okay, so let's do a quick review of what I already know. BlinkBlade and Banner Spear. Okay, so the BlinkBlade and the Banner Spear are opposite ends of the spectrum in complexity. They are, as you can see, this is Royce, the BlinkBlade, and this is Adrian, the Banner Spear. They are night and day as far as complexity, but I will tell you this, Banner Spear is not as easy as his card lets on. Easy in that it's one thing or the other. There's not a lot of choices. It's the top or the bottom. It's all you got to worry about. Which one are you going to do? Whereas Royce is kind of the top, the bottom, the left, or the right. So Royce is the BlinkBlade. And as a BlinkBlade, he's got a number of cards that... now, there's two characters in this game, in the starting classes, that have a high complexity. At least that's what they say. And I agree. So basically, the complexity comes down to the fact that he's got more going on than your typical character class. So I'm going to kind of show you two of their cards. And this is just Royce and Adrian. These are the BlinkBlade and the Banner Spear, whom I've spent a fair amount of time with. 7 scenarios. But when you think those 7 scenarios have actually been the equivalent of probably about 15 scenarios, maybe. Not nearly as far as at least one of those people playing online. And she's not soloing that I'm aware of. She doesn't stream her games, so I don't know if she solos or not. I get the impression she is playing with somebody. Just the way she was wording it and just listening to how she was referring to the game. So Adrian is kind of an AoE expert, as well as summoning. That's kind of her thing. She does AoE and summoning, and she's got a few other little skills and spells, but they're kind of like what she does when she's not AoEing or summoning. She summons things to support that help her get her AoE off. It's basically what it is. Some of them heal. They'll heal allies. Some of them help give more damage to you and her and her allies. And they do other things. Now, this whole review is about starting character classes and how they might help you in the starting portions of the game. Now, you can discover them yourself, so this is not the place to be if you want to discover them yourself. But I'm going to try to go over them as detailed as I can, considering what I know about the game. And I haven't even opened some of these packs. So these are the only two that I know pretty dang well. But I'm going to be knowing more. Time to come in my future streams. As I continue to solo play through this, I'll be playing more of these characters, as well as some of the unlocked ones. Okay, so this is Adrian. Okay. Oops. Yep. So much for that plan. I was trying to see if I could get clever and show you what a BlinkBlade's card looks like. Okay, so there's oh, it's too close. Too close. It's because I zoomed in, which probably doesn't help. So let's get the camera a little further back. All right. Oh, and a lot of glare. Not particularly great either. All right, there you go. Okay, so that's what a banner spears looks like. It's just a top, it's a bottom, it's got a simple thing going on either way. A little bit of choices to decide, nothing too significant. But then you take a look at something like Royce's card, which is a BlinkBlade. This is what's on a BlinkBlade card. Okay. Not all of them are this complicated, but they're pretty similar. Okay. Note the left and the right. So he can go fast or he can go slow. Now, by fast, that means he's supposedly moving quicker. Doesn't necessarily mean he initiates quicker. So Adrian here almost inevitably will go faster in the initiative, quicker in the initiative than Royce will, which is good. I mean, part of the BlinkBlade's thing is staying out of trouble, right? Trying not to get hit. He's probably got one of the, I'm guessing he's got one of the lowest starting defenses, which seems about right. Oh, nope, that's not true. The Deathwalker actually has a lower HP. In fact, he's of the other, I'm just looking at the other four real quick. Actually, two other characters have a lower starting HP than he does. He's got an 8 to start. Royce is, how can I say this? Difficult. But once you start learning him, he's really kind of cool. He's got a lot of abilities that run in and can hit multiple characters. He's going to come in, he's going to smack, he can move again, hit again, and then he's got abilities like you see on a couple of his cards actually go as far as to actually give him long-term things that have multi-uses, like this one. This one here, actually, if you cast this card, it's going to be out there on top, and it's going to give you some extra abilities throughout. He's got a couple of those in the early game. These are early game cards. I've only gotten up to level 3 with these two, and that's about how far we'll go looking at these other ones as well. But you can see there's a lot going on. You got to choose between left and right, or fast and slow. And sometimes you don't have a choice. If you use up all of your speed, you get these little tokens if you go slow, you get a couple of tokens. You can get up to 2 tokens going slow. Now there's other ways to get more, but you can have up to 2 as a result of just going slow. Slow is doing the right side of things. The right side of things, typically not great. They oftentimes will take damage off of your attack, slow you down. Maybe you won't be able to do certain things that you can do when you're going fast. So those are the negative sides of it. But when he's doing the fast side, he's usually pretty strong, and it offsets. As you get higher up, more and more abilities start showing up where you can go fast more often. Or they have the slow ability actually allows you to trigger certain fast actions from your other card. Now, I'm not really going into how the game plays. That's for another video. But the way these cards work, I'm just talking about what they can do for you and how they would help. If ultimately you get the bottom of one, the base rules of how cards work is you do 2 cards, you get the bottom of one and the top of the other. Your choice. You take 2 cards, you can switch up which bottom and top you do. If the monsters suddenly, you can see that what they're going to do is going to be problematic for your original plan, you can maybe look at your other options. Did you do bottom of the other one and top of switch it up. Sometimes that works. Sometimes it's good to have both options and understand how they're going to work for you. But the BlinkBlade is more complicated. It can be difficult to manage the speed and the slow. And do you have speed? And you got to pick a good consistency as to when you're going to mark your speed. Because I've done it before where I'm like, wait a minute, did I put the speed on this turn? Do I have speed? You try to record what you did. Is what I try to do is what I record on the app when I'm saying, when I set the initiative, I'll say, okay, I'm going with slow. I'm doing 54 or whatever. I can remember what I'm supposed to be doing based on that. I can go, oh, well, it's 54. I must be going slow or whatever. So this one has, 02 02, and 32. Now, O2 is freaky fast for him. In fact, that's the fastest I've seen. But he doesn't have very many of those. Even his fastest speeds are typically over 20. For Adrian, he's got a lot of them that are under 20. So Adrian tends to go first more often between the two of them. And the monsters, they could be wherever. But there you go. There's basically what the BlinkBlade and Royce have. Like I said, Adrian is AoE, needs partners, needs allies, things on the board that can help her take advantage of her area attacks, her multi-character hits. She get experience from those. You need to position people in certain places. You just got to have guys on the board. Royce and Adrian don't work great together because Royce is moving around all the time and rarely is close enough to Adrian to truly take advantage of that. They don't like come up together because of their movement and speed. They can both, Royce is doing this kind of thing and Adrian's just kind of, driving up. Sometimes a little bit faster, but she doesn't have a lot of things. She doesn't currently, at least at the first few levels, really have any opportunities to both act and move on the bottom half. Royce has got multiples of those, different abilities and things that can happen on the bottom half. He can attack. He has one that he attacks from the bottom half, which means he can theoretically attack twice. He can use that card. He's got 2 cards actually that attack from the bottom. He's got one that attacks at range, I think, and if he's going fast. And so he's got these multiple abilities where he can attack a lot. But he's smaller. He's a little bit more glass-jawed. And he's just not really a team player. At least it's really been hard to get him to be where I need him. If you're in a close quarters, it's a lot easier. Or you're in a stationary area, like when we're fighting in an elevator, that worked when we stayed in one spot. But when you have to move across a board, he's just so much faster that you're hamstringing him if you try to make him stay back with Adrian, because she just doesn't move enough. Her slow abilities are either move herself or get a partner or cast an ally or a summon. In which case, if you're doing that, you're summoning or moving your allies, and you can't both move people and move yourself. You got like 1 card that'll move both you and them, and it's only like 2. Whereas Royce has got movements with his speed that he can possibly do 4, 5, 7 spaces. I mean, that's just crazy amount. So he's way more flexible, way more powerful, way more complicated to use because you're always trying to figure out how to use him. But he doesn't play well with a banner spear. So I'm telling you that now. Okay, so let's look at a couple of other characters. So the first one we're going to look at is the Drifter. Now this is the Drifter's cards you see sitting in front of me here. The Drifter is a card that I haven't seen before. So, but we're going to look at the 2 things that give you the most, or the 2 things that tell you the most about a character: his deck and his card. Well, actually, if you want, you could also look at his experience card, because this also gives you, as you get perks, tells you what kind of things you can expect to get from him. What kind of things are going to eventually make you oh, come on. I'm trying to get get his card up. Whoa, what is going on here? Yeah, hold on. Bear with me while I switch over to this other picture. All right. Here. I'm just trying to get to this. Yes. All right. This is his card. This is the Drifter. You can see what kind of stuff he has going for him. He's got go away. He's got a 10 starting damage. He can move. He can hold 12 cards, which is really nice. Royce and Adrian, the Banner Spear and the BlinkBlade, only get 10 cards. 12 is nice. That means he's going to live longer. He's going to have more actions. Usually. It could also mean that he's got more lost cards, which means he's going to have to lose more often. He also might do things where maybe he sacrifices them and such. So let's take a quick look. Now, I'm only going to look at the first few levels because it's a lot of cards, and I'll do a review again in the future for the higher levels. Right now, I'm just going to look at the first 3. Now, probably not perfectly ideal, but I just want to give you an idea of what to expect when you start a character with these, start a class with these characters. Now he's got similar starting, a similar setup to what Royce has. Let's see, he's on your next 6 melee attacks, he can add 2 damage. This one just makes him hit harder, and it oh, this is kind of interesting. I don't know what that even means. So this is one of his, this is one of his cards. Add 2 damage for the next 6 attacks. Awesome. That's really nice. That means he's going to be a bruiser. Most likely, he's going to be doing a lot of damage. Looking at these cards, he starts off with a 2 base. On most of his attacks on these are a 2 base. Let's see, he's got a 3 there. A lot of 1s and 2s. He's got a 3. 3 healing. Oh, he's got a nice destructor. No, he's got a nice range. He's got a nice area of attack. Area of effect attack that can hit a lot of guys for 3 damage. And he doesn't need help. Take this card out. Okay, so that one. That AoE is really nice. That means you can run up into a crowd and just smack them all. As long as they fit inside of that diamond. 3 damage on a lot of guys like that. That is something Adrian can only dream of. That is some nice beatdown. He's got nice healing abilities too. I mean, that's just 3 damage for basically one of your friends. Or actually, it could be just about anybody. It doesn't even say allies. So it's 3 damage or 3 healing for any one of your anything you want to aim at, up to a range of 3. So he's got a few of those. A lot of his base damage though is 2. He's a fairly simple character to play. He doesn't have a lot of complexities other than maybe those multi moves, and he does have a lot of those multi moves, the things that allow you to do. So okay, so that's where. This is why he has so many cards. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Plus the one you saw right there that has 8. He has got 8 cards in the first 3 levels that basically are lost cards if you use their the multi uses going on. So you got that one there that's plus 2 damage. This one actually gives him his next range attacks. He gets to hit an extra target. This one is on your next 6 melee attacks, targeting an enemy adjacent to any other enemy. One adjacent enemy suffers 2 damage. So this one just automatically hits more than one guy. So you're looking at a lot of really nice abilities out of this. And it goes on and on. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4 more of those. So you're going to have a lot of lost cards. So you get a lot of 12s, but if you want to use those kind of cards, they're burner cards. Once they're played, they're going to give you some, you earn experience through them. You can see along the way on those charts, there's usually a little star about every couple, and that gets you an XP every time you get to that. So he's gonna have a, you got to watch yourself with cards like that, because if you have too many of those going, you're going to be powerful as heck, but you're going to be burning through cards. Even if he is a 12 card guy, the Drifter's going to be a very quality character. Now, that said, would he work good with the Banner Spear? Maybe. He doesn't seem to have any like crazy moving capabilities. He's got 3s. See, he's got this nice guy. There's no remorse. That one lets you move, hit, and move on the bottom. That's a nice ability, because that means you can have two attacks on one round, which is always nice, because you can use the bottom with an attack and the top with an attack. That's something you definitely like to have, but keep in mind it's a burner card. You can only do it once. So he's got a lot of burner cards. I call them burner cards. They're lost cards. Cards that when you use them, they're lost. You can't have them for the rest of the scenario unless you've got a way to get them back. And maybe at some point he'll have those. He's got movements of 3. generally, he's got a lot of cards that attack from the bottom. I see multiple already. Plus those abilities. A lot. He's got a number of heals. A lot of heals. Got a lot of cards he gets too. He's got a couple of cards that can move 4, basically like Adrian. His movement areas are pretty simplistic. He might work well with Adrian, to be honest, with all of his abilities, because he'd be able to do a lot of things. He wouldn't move so fast that he would get away from Adrian. He moves pretty much the same as her, Adrian being the banner spear. So with that, there's a good chance they could cooperate with each other, because he wouldn't be getting so far away. He's got a lot of attacks and a lot of medium movements, not significant. He's got a fair number of four movements though, probably more than I noticed with Adrian, or the banner spear. She's got 2 or 3 4s. He's got a lot of 2s and a couple of 3s, but a lot of chances to attack on the bottom. Between them, they would be a couple of tanks, I think. You got to be careful though in some areas, because cannons, like the ones I've been fighting, like to hit you and your adjacent allies. Okay, so I see what the problem is. I'm going through an awful lot of cards that are not the first 3. That's right. I mean, most of them were, but I let myself keep going. So anyway, there you go. He's kind of a tank, moves slow, but does a lot of damaging attacks. They're very simple attacks, actually. I am actually impressed with the power capabilities of the Drifter. He'd be a fun character to try out. Okay, so next, it wouldn't go too far as to say some of his enhancements are he gets to do the usual things: take -2s out, put in 0s. You're replacing cards with better cards. As far as kind of cards you might get that are unique for this character, got a number of rolling cards, a couple of pushes, nothing too significantly. Let's see what his masteries are. And a scenario with your character's token on the last slots of 4 persistent abilities. 4 persistent abilities. That's 4 lost cards that have to be in play for the whole round. That's tough, because that means you're basically going from 12 to 8, and getting it to the last slot means you probably need to be able to do at least 6 rounds. That's a lot of burning through cards, unless you get some abilities that let you use multiple of. You might be able to use them, assuming you can use them all in the same. But that would be tough. You'd have to get a couple out right away, start burning through them, because you're probably not using them all the time. And considering you're going to have 12 to 16 rounds, maybe, depending on how you're playing. But if you're burning 4 cards, you're only going to get, that's 8 cards lost. That's not even counting the ones you lose automatically when you have to rest. Again, I'm talking from the point of you're hearing about these as though you're just getting into the game, but you already know, you've read the rules, and you want to know what characters you should try based on that information. So yeah. All right, so that's it for the Drifter. Let's go ahead and take a quick look. There's only 6 starters. We've done 3 of them so far. So the next, we're going to go over the Geminate. Now, the Geminate, she is kind of a cool looking figure, if nothing else. I mean, I don't know enough about her. This was that's your Drifter. You know what? I had the wrong character out. That character that I was showing is actually the Geminate. This guy is your Drifter. Both will be fun to paint. I will start painting them as I bring them into play. Cesar there will get his paint coming in too soon. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the Drifter. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say Geminate? I did say Geminate. Why does it say? Oh, I have the wrong card. I'm totally missing you astray, leading you astray. Sorry. Geminate are these 2 little turds. I don't know what to tell you about the Geminate. It's because I grabbed the cards for the. I had the 2 cards on top of each other. That was throwing me off. Drifter, go over there. Geminate cards need to stop being all out of place. And I think I totally, yeah, that's what the problem is. I just got them all. The Harrower Geminate. Okay, so let's show you the card for these guys. Okay, so there you go. There's the Harrower Geminate. It just says Harrower Geminate on her experience card. So this one you can see only has 8 health, much like Royce. So really anything over 8 is actually kind of rare. 2 guys, Royce and the Geminate, have 8. Both the Deathwalker and the Bone Shaper only have 6. That's really light. But you're going to be casting summons and doing stuff with those guys that keep them kind of back and hopefully out of harm's way. They're going to be doing stuff at range or, you know, doing being a controller. So Geminate only gets 7 cards too. But keep in mind he gets 2 hands of 7. Gets 1 for each of his characters, which makes him a more complicated character. So now you're managing 2 hands. You're basically driving 2. Now, my understanding of this character is he actually switches back and forth. He's one character that turns into one, and then he's playing that guy, and then he turns back and he's the other guy. Says you shift between the 2 different forms, melee and ranged. One guy's close, one guy's far. Obviously, you only get 7 cards of each. That's still 14 cards, but you kind of have to decide how you're going to play them. So as you can see, he's got one of the thickest decks of the bunch. Look at that. That is a thick deck of cards. So when you get 14 cards to work with, you're still going to have the same limitation. When you level up, the level up's going to feel weaker with these guys because you still only get 1 card to add to the supply. So you're going to get 14 cards. You got 1 extra card in there somewhere. Level 2 you get 1. Level 3 you get 1. Level 4, so on and so forth. You get a pick from 2 to put in your deck as a source, but the other ones you don't even get. They're not even available to you unless you level up again and say, I don't want this 4th level card right now. I want the other 3rd level card, which is possible. You may like it more. I don't know. I always feel like you have to take the higher card. It's hard in my head to say, nope, I'm taking the lower one, but I can see me doing it if I'm really impressed by the card. So anyway, kind of things to look for with the Geminate. He's complicated. He's got some range. But to look at his cards, oh, he's in the red hexes. Let's see. He's got a range and a melee form. During card selection, you can only play cards from your current form. Shown next to the initiative of each card. Oh, okay. So let's oh, they're different colors. Okay. Oh, okay. So when you level up, you have 1, 2, and 1, 3. You have to choose between boosting either the Geminate or the range form or the melee form. That's all you're going to get. You got that option. But keep it. Check out some of these things. At level 2, I don't remember what that is because I haven't done it very often. Oh, here it is. Okay, so at level 2, you curse yourself. Wow, okay, card into your deck. So you basically put a curse card into your deck. But it's optional. You don't have to do it. But if you do, you can wreck an army. Look at that card. So you can hit 5 guys with your top attack. But hey, if you want to extend that, you're allowed to curse yourself and just wreck the damage on all these guys. I say wreck, but ultimately, the damage is only 2. Uh, you have a only range 2 to 3. So it's not very. I don't know why it says only range 2/3. Oh, I see. Something 2 away or up to 3 away is basically all it is. You can hit 5 guys straight in front of you. So it's kind of like an odd set. You're basically aiming forward. Um, and then if you do it if you curse yourself, you can change that to 4/4 or 4. Yeah, it's basically 4 or 4. That's pretty good. You're only doing 2 damage, but that's a lot of guys. That makes things like chopping down an army full of guys so much easier. So remember, so I would say with Banner Spear, you want to get allies on the board, people who are going to be able to work with you. Maybe work with the Bone Shaper, who's a mega, what do you call it, a mega summoner. So she summons a lot of stuff, and that's kind of her thing. In fact, she doesn't even really fight much at all, but she can add allies to the board. That's going to make your Banner Spear a lot stronger because she's going to be able to take advantage of those impacts and army guys sitting around, and you're going to be able to surround things and possibly get a lot more shots off. Now, again, I haven't played these characters, but I'm giving you an idea of what their thematics seem to be. Now, with this guy, again, he's kind of he's a tanky guy. Probably not going to be terribly useful, but possibly if you're working with the Banner Spear, he might be good. Maybe if he's with Royce, the BlinkBlade, he's going to have more range, so he can hit stuff that Royce is hitting. He's going to be shooting at stuff and taking out those same things from a distance. He has a number of things for range purposes. 4 to 5. 4 to 5 range, 3 to 4, 3 to 4. A lot of things where she's doing multiple damage to a lot of guys at range. That's really pretty good. You can pin a lot of characters, 3 targets. Only at 4 or 5 range. So you got to be careful though. She's got a lot of range attacks, but she can't hit at short range on some of these long range, that's kind of her weakness. She can hit a lot of things, but if they're too close, she can't hit them at all. So, because it's only 4 or 5 range, and a lot of these are like that, only 2 or 3 range. Couple of heals. She's got some decent attacks. At the basic first level, you're going to get a lot, some pinning at range. You can do things where you can infuse infuse some of the elements. Of course, everybody's got some infusions. What she consumes, or it consumes, I don't even know, it's a Geminate, right? Not seeing a lot of consumption of. Oh, here's one. She can consume the sun infusion or warmth infusion for an extra damage. She can consume fire for an extra damage on one. She can get advantage. So she's got actually quite a few consuming capabilities to increase her damage or even get advantage. I think the range aspect might make her work pretty good with Royce, the BlinkBlade. Probably would not be a good choice with Adrian, because she's only got 8 health. She doesn't do a lot at close up, which means she's coming in and helping create formations. She doesn't have any summons, not even one that I can tell. Everything's pretty standard fare. So she does have a melee form, and this is where. Hey Ivan, how you going? The Geminate is complex in that you got to know when you're switching back and forth, how you want to choose between, you know, close up and range attacks. I think individually, they're really not that complex. I mean, it's just the coordination between trying. It's kind of like the BlinkBlade, where you have to decide: are you going to go fast? You're going to go slow? Is this the time to go slow? Do I want to use these abilities? Oh wait, I can't use that ability because I'm going slow. I had no choice. I can't go fast. So there's a lot of stuff. I think Royce, the BlinkBlade, is more complicated. Oh, thanks. Have you seen some of my other videos too? I gather. Um, so the venomous barbs, his close-up attacks might make him more useful to a character like the Banner Spear. And the Banner Spear, like I said, needs people, needs allies. But when you only have one ally, it makes it difficult. So in like a scenario like the one I've been struggling to beat with Adrian and Royce, has proven difficult because when they split up, uh, Adrian has to cast her own allies, which is fine. She has summons, but they're kind of weak, and she has to move them herself. And getting them into position after that initial summon is tough, and those cannons are constantly shooting at you. And so she needs the help of her allies. And with Royce being so fast and zipping around and trying to lay wounds on people and do stuff, he just doesn't stick around well. So I'm trying to kind of give you an idea of how they might work with a character like the Banner Spear, who's easy to use in that her moves are not complicated, but she's difficult, and it's really kind of hard to fire off a lot of her AoE without the help of allies. So I'm thinking right now, characters like the Bone Shaper or maybe even, possibly even the Deathwalker, who have summons that can come in and help fill the board with allies that will make the Banner Spear a much stronger character. But anyway, as far as the Geminate goes, being complicated, yes. She's got two. She's got a lot of summons. Her bottom halves are really pretty simple. You know, it's move. You got a couple of perma-stay cards. Actually, you got quite a few on the bottom halves. They're pretty simple. I like characters that can attack with the bottom half of their card. Because that means you have a chance to coordinate multiple attacks in a battle. And the melee version of the Geminate has multiple bottom half attacks. But again, you have to deal with the complications of switching and knowing when to switch. And I haven't played this character, but I think it would be interesting to try. It gives you a more robust setting if you're playing with two characters like I am, because now you gotta have this guy who can do range if you need it. You got this guy who can do extra melee if you need it. So, but you only get 7 cards, so you can't stay that character forever. You're gonna have to switch at some point. So maybe you come in at range, start taking some blasts and shots and get them down. But then once the monsters close in on you, you switch over to your melee and just start pounding on stuff. Or if maybe the monsters are only coming up on you slowly, maybe they come and rush you at the door, you pound on several, and then you stand back and switch to range and start pummeling things at a distance. So, you know, you don't want to, I don't know what the penalties for switching is. Let's see. Shown next to the initiative of each card, the blah 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 symbols force you to switch from one form to the other, following the white arrow at the end of the turn in which an action with that symbol is performed. Well, there you go. See, I'm totally wrong. I don't even know how that character plays. That makes it so much harder. So you're right. There's a number of cards that are gonna flip you. What the heck? Your current form shown to the initiative of each round. The symbols force you to switch from one form to the other, following the white arrow at the end of the turn in which an action with that symbol is performed. The white arrow. I don't see what they mean, white arrow. Oh, okay, I see. So some of them force you to switch. Switching forms is not an ability, and you must perform an ability on the action to trigger it. You may start each scenario in either form. You must either be able to rest or play 2 cards from your current form at the start of each round. Otherwise, you become exhausted. Oh, yeah, see, that's where it gets complicated. I'm definitely with him on that. So, all right, so there's cards like this. See that bottom there? That card will force you to switch to the other side. So you become a ranged character after you've played that card. And there aren't a ton of those. Well, I mean, they're in and out. So certain cards are going to have you switching your range. Sometimes you have to decide, okay, I need to be range on the next turn, so I got to switch. So it's not an ability. It's a mandatory change. You can pick where you start, but you can't change willingly at will otherwise. So anyway, yeah, the Geminate does become much more complicated because you don't control it. I was wrong on my initial speak, so I apologize if I was missing you or leading you astray. Some of the things you can expect on your perks: ignore scenario effects. I guess those would be things that you come in with road events, or if you come into a scenario and it just says you start with a -1 card in your deck, because I have had that as well. So there are certain things where you come in and you have an effect on you as soon as the scenario starts. Whenever you short rest, you may remove 1 negative condition from an ally within a range of 3. That's a nice perk. Once each scenario, when you would give yourself a negative condition, prevent the condition. So I like that. It's just that those are the kind of things I add to myself later, because I don't like things that are one-time use. Like, oh, whenever you short rest is way better than one time when it happens in the scenario. I mean, it's good. It's just, you know. To me, I like them to be consistent. Your masteries are switch forms each round. Wow. That'd be tough. Constantly switching back and forth. I don't even know if you have enough cards for that in the early part of the game. That you probably don't. I mean, you get more and more cards like that you can just stick them all in your deck and just switch back and forth constantly. But again, that's going to make playing very difficult. Being ranged, being close, being ranged, being close. Lose at least 1 ability card each round. Holy moly! Well, you do have 14 cards, so it's probably pretty easy to find some burners that you're constantly going through. But yeah, I think the Geminate's very cool. It's got a lot of cool attacks. I think that switching back and forth makes it very difficult. And so yeah, be ready to pull your hair out. Not a problem for me, but for most, pulling your hair out would be unfortunate. Okay, so not last, Deathwalker. I was only going to do this for 30 minutes. As you can see, I'm already over. I don't have to race through these two guys. Deathwalker has some summons. Only a couple. Has ghosts or whatever. Doesn't have a ton of summons. But Deathwalker is that guy. She has let's see what her cards are, shall we? Kind of things you can do. Let's just look at these first few levels. Like I said, I'm up to level 3, so let's see what they are. I'm not looking at the advanced ones yet because let's not overdo it. It's too much to go over. Just kind of giving a once over. Her summons, the 2 she has, only one of them is available in the first 3 cards. So it's a sunless apparition. She could summon a shadow beast. The ability can only be performed if you remove dark. Move 1 dark from an adjacent hex. Remove any number of darks. Oh, she has these little things she has to put down, I imagine. During your and your summons attacks, before drawing an attack modifier card, you may place 1 character token on the target of the attack. When that enemy dies, place 1 dark in or adjacent to the hex it occupied. Whenever you place a character token with this ability, remove any other character token placed with this ability. Huh. Character token. Oh, that must be these little ghosty things. I would imagine. I mean, or yeah, I don't know. I mean, I would guess it's these little ghosty things. It doesn't show you a picture of the ghosty thing, so maybe it's not. I'll have to figure that out when I play her. But ultimately, you basically put this death thing on them, where whenever you place a character token with the ability, remove any other. During your summons attacks, before drawing an attack modifier card, you may place one character token on that target, that attack. Huh. So it basically gives you a place. Basically, you're summoning their soul. It's a shadow beast that comes from their death. They die, ghost comes up and this summon. It's cool, but it doesn't look. I mean, it's one you can keep doing over and over, and you get an XP every time you do it. But there's a lot of ways to put these hexes down, so you'll be casting that shadow beast regularly. It's weak. I'd imagine there's ways to make it stronger, but it's 3 movement and 3 damage, which is decent damage, but it's 1 health, so it dies on instant. Die on impact. But you got a lot of ways to manipulate it. It looks like 5 damage. Perform the attack as if you were occupying a hex with a shadow token, then remove the token. Perform the attack as if you were occupying a hex with token, then remove the token. Huh. That's kind of weird wording there. Whenever you would suffer damage, you may instead do something to a hex with a dark token. Remove the token and negate the damage and discard this card. So you got a lot of, you're manipulating tokens, shadow tokens, it looks like. Basic damage seems kind of low. A lot of 3s and 2s, nothing too significant. All adjacent enemies. So if she gets surrounded, she doesn't have a lot of health. So if you don't want, you get her surrounded. Yeah, she can do a lot of damage to those characters around her, but she's kind of a glass jaw. Perform that as if you were occupying the hex with a shadow token, then remove the token. It's kind of weird. It says perform attacks as if you were occupying a hex with a token, then remove the token. So it's kind of like you just have to have one on the board somewhere, I guess. The movement must be in a hex, must end in a hex. Yeah, so you got one here that you can move and attack on the top. So possibly multiple moves, which is nice. Where X is the number of tokens on the map. So you can have up to 5 of these shadow tokens on the map, it looks like, because you only get 5, so I assume that's the limit. So you can have upwards of 6 damage on that. So her thing is all about these tokens. Having them all over, getting extra damage. If you're occupying a hex with token, damage 1 enemy at any range adjacent to at least 2 tokens. So the trick is getting these tokens all over the board. Because, yeah, you can hit them at any range, but you're not going to hit the guys across the room unless you have a way to put them down. And I haven't read all these. Move all shadow tokens up to 3 hexes. Oh, yeah, so you can move them around. Remove any number of tokens within 3 range. For each removed, gain an XP and grant one ally or self a shield. Could be interesting to play this character. I think it might be, you'd be like trying to throw those tokens down constantly. Be in constant need of throwing them down. But this is your shadow apparition that can come in, which just appears on top of a shadow token. She's got not much in the area of AoE, at least not clearly. Some of these AoE is basically you could do damage where the shadow tokens are, so they're kind of scattered as AoE-ish. Potentially, if you can get a lot of guys next to them, you can do a lot of stuff going on with that. But yeah, she's got like 1 straight up AoE in the first few levels. In this one, it's a range of 3. You can do you can hit 3 guys and do stuff to them, which is I forgot what it's called again. Where'd it go? I had my card here a minute ago. Oh, I misplaced it again. All right, well, I don't know what I did with it. But anyway, there's, oh, here it is. Curse. So you can curse a bunch of characters, which is nice. I mean, you curse the monster deck. That's pretty good. If you can keep cursing the monster deck. So curses, I think once they fire, they're out, but you can keep doing it. Add multiples if you can keep firing it off. Oh, that one's a one-time shot, so nope, guess not. But yeah, she's interesting as well. Might be fun to try. I'm not sure what I think of it. I don't know if I would be all that thrilled at trying her out. It's one of those things like, yeah, let's give it a go. You know, I'm desperate. I need some help. Let's give the Deathwalker a try. But I think she'd be fun to try. There'd be a lot of weird things going on. Shadow Beast slaps. Yeah, I guess that's kind of what it is, huh? She jumps up, smack, and then dies because he gets killed right away. All right, last character. Now this is one that really interests me as a potential partner for Adrian, because this character is a summoner. The Bone Shaper class, that's this character. Oops, probably should put her card back. The Bone Shaper class, I think, really works well, or could work well, with the Banner Spear. Other characters that good combinations, from what I can tell, is I think that Deathwalker would work good with Royce, the BlinkBlade, because all of her little abilities, with her tokens appearing and popping up in different places, with Royce moving around the board like he does, which he's constantly able to go really long distances and smack things and hit a couple different things, she could have these shadow tokens, hopefully, starting to spread out on the board and take advantage of those hits that Royce is delivering in different places and say, oh, well, let's see, that guy just got hit, he's close to death. Shadow Beast comes up, smack, takes it out. I think those kind of things could work. I think the combinations with Royce and possibly with the Deathwalker could be really good. I think Adrian would benefit a lot from the Bone Shaper. Now, and possibly work pretty well with the Drifter, simply because the Drifter is also AoE. So if they can sit together and just get into positions for these attacks, Drifter does a pummel, hits a bunch of guys. She comes in and uses him as a... She's right there, and she does her own AoE and hits a bunch of guys. And between them, they're just able to wreck a lot of stuff because they're working together as in tandem. I think that works really good with Royce and the Drifter, or Adrian and the Drifter. I don't think Royce and the Drifter would be any better. I think the Drifter's pretty standalone. I think he's got the capability of lasting longer than Adrian. He doesn't need allies to do his AoEs. But a lot of his abilities are lost cards. So he's going to burn cards more. So he's doing more damage, but he's burning more cards. So he's got more cards too. So there's that. And he also, I think, even has more health, right? Yeah, no, same as Adrian. But but those two guys would be like tanks, right? Two big guys just going at it and just pummeling on things. If you use him with Royce, again, Royce and him would just be there doing their thing, but they wouldn't have a lot of synergy between each other. They wouldn't work well together. They wouldn't necessarily take advantage of each other's capabilities, because they'd be separate, because that's just what Royce does. Royce is a mover, shaker. He needs people who can work with him in his moving. So I think maybe even the Geminate can probably work with either one of them at certain points. I think the range abilities of the Geminate would be awesome with Royce, because she can shoot things at a distance. So while he's picking things off, she's out there, finishing stuff off, cleaning up the damage he's leaving. Finishing things off. She'd be good against range attacks, obviously, because she can range them when she gets into the position. I'm sorry, the Geminate. I say she, but I don't know. I don't even know what that is. This creature, she or not. I think the Deathwalker has some interesting potential. I'm a little apprehensive of the Deathwalker because I'm not sure what I think of that yet. I'd have to play it to see. But I think the shadows popping up everywhere could be useful and might play well with Royce, the BlinkBlade. Okay, so final guy. I'm already over my time by half an hour. Again, lots of summons. He's got 3 cards in the first several that just summon guy. In fact, that's just what this guy does. I mean, it's not his only. But if I were to count summon cards, basically skeletons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In the first 3 levels, you've got 6 cards that can summon. Now, Royce has or Adrian has 4. A couple of banners. I think he's got the Torchbearer and he's got the reinforcements. Or she has. So I think you're in good shape with this. I think they would, like I said, I really think these guys would make a great pairing with Adrian. Because the summons would be popping up. Now, the only problem is they have to be nearby, unless there's some special rule I don't see here that lets you put them further away. Typically, though, summons, they have to land right next to you, so it's somewhere adjacent. So she'd be staying close to Adrian, but remember, she's only got 6 health. And you don't really have control over the movement of these guys unless, like, Adrian casts something that says, all right, give allies movement, which she can do. She has a lot of those abilities. But she'd have to already be in the crowd because she can't move and give allies abilities. So if she doesn't move fast enough, I mean, like, when she summons, these summons have, like, super low initiatives. So you have to, in fact... I guess she's got a couple of... She's actually kind of slow. Her initiatives, she's only got a couple cards that are going to be very fast moving. So odds of her dropping a summon when you need it, like on the same turn, going to be kind of challenging. But you're going to be relying on these summons, which, remember, you don't have any control over summons, so they just kind of go where they want to. They see the nearest creature and they go after it. So Adrian, if wants to work with these characters, either has to give them movement to make them be where she needs them, or she's going to have to follow them around to take advantage of their position on the board. Keep in mind, these skeletons have 2-3 health. Maybe not dead on every first shot, but they're going to die on a lot of shots. Bone Shaper's got some interesting ones. Other abilities: Decaying Will, add 1 damage if the target is adjacent to at least one of your summons. On the next death of one of your summons due from damage from an attack, the attacker suffers damage. So you can actually increase damage. You've got this Wraith thing, 1 damage, 1 health. What does it do? 1 damage, 1 health, moves 2. Oh, it can do damage from a range of 3. So even though it's a basically glass child, it's a one-time use too. It'll summon the dark. And it does have 2 shield, so it's kind of sort of difficult to hit because it shoots at range. Wouldn't help Adrian at all because you wouldn't want this close to anything; it'll just die. She's got some healing abilities. Fair number of little healing abilities, I've noticed. Grant 1 of your summons. It's kind of interesting. Adrian can move allies. This character can only move... Doesn't move your allies. Doesn't have Adrian's ability. She can only move her summons. Summons can pick up stuff for you. Pick up loot. That's nice. Some movement. Grant one of your summons. When the next enemy dies this round, all allies and enemies adjacent to the hex in which it died suffers 2 damage. Whoa. Huh. When the next enemy dies this round, all allies and enemies adjacent to the hex in which it died suffer 2 damage. That's pretty good if you can figure out how to kill guys that are a little further away from you, hitting them with range and that kind of thing. That's kind of a nice... It's like you see somebody who's about to fire a big shot at something. Right, and that's why... But see, that's why I think she'd work good with Adrian. Adrian's kind of slow too. So, I mean, granted, racing across the board ain't great. You can't get across the board quickly. But since monsters are going to come at you because you're slower, you're not like able to run around and make them chase you. The having multiple allies on the board will make Adrian's AOE a lot more powerful as a bone shaper. I'm sorry, as a banner spear. Because she needs allies. She can't do her biggest attacks. And those kind of characters really come down to hitting multiple things. If you're only doing 3 damage on occasion, you want to hit as many things as you can. Trying to take advantage of that. So you have some big attacks, but maybe if you can get some summons around, some allied summons around, they all act as allies, and you're able to smack more and more things all together. Just more options for her. But yeah, I would say you're right. I can see that it's a very slow character. You're casting these things and you kind of trudge forward. And again, I think other characters that might work well with those are maybe the Drifter. Drifter, again, feels like a character in reading his cards that would be fairly decent by himself. But by bringing in all these summons, they basically take some of the targets off of him. Because you're gonna have these other characters out there that are range attacks are gonna hit at these smaller characters that you can keep casting them. Ultimately, you need to rely on a character like the Drifter to do damage to the things that are close enough to you that they can't hurt you, and then you just follow behind him and let him pummel everything while you're bringing out basically defensive shields, cannon fodder. And hopefully they get some extra shots off while they're at it, taking things down while they're in play. So I think I do see that this character has no summons on the bottom half. So that's kind of her attack. And you need to keep them in play constantly because she's got a few attacks, but not a ton. Grant 3 of your summons. So you're like prepping. Because your summons always act before you, right? So whatever you do to them, grant 3 of your summons attack plus damage plus 0. Guess that just means they can attack a 0, and then maybe when they roll the modification cards, they can do some damage. But it basically acts on any 3. That one, and that one take a shot. And they're all going to try to flip a card and see if they can hurt them. But yeah, I think if they all work together, you can... I think definitely the Bone Shaper is a support character class. She can't do the work by herself. But if she can work with... I don't think the Bone Shaper, personally, I don't think would work very well with Royce. As a BlinkBlade... She can't really support him all that much because he'd be moving around, and it's a good chance that these summons wouldn't be anywhere near where he's at. And so again, you probably run into that same problem of lack of cohesion. She'd be back trying to do her own thing, casting her summons to try to protect her and do damage nearby, but wouldn't have a lot of coverage for characters, and her summons would keep dying, depending on... I mean, I guess these Shambling Skeletons are okay. They have 3 health. But you're constantly throwing them up, trying to get them, to block and protect you. You'd be better off with a character class that's willing to or capable of staying with you and just helping you move forward and tank through, where you basically pummel things as you're moving through, hopefully using the summons to take some hits and destroy, so your main characters aren't dying, aren't getting beat up. I really think the Drifter is probably an ideal tank, a support character to go with with them. I would like to try the Drifter with Adrian, and the Bone Shaper with Adrian. Royce, I would probably be more inclined to try something like the Geminate with the range that the Geminate has. Also, possibly even the Deathwalker. I think those two might work better with Royce because of their possibly complementary ranged abilities that could help be where he is in supporting him in his attacks. Because he'll be with you at the start, but he's going to start. He's going to get out there. Because I've already played 7 scenarios with him and tell you, he's rarely near Adrian. He's just bouncing around. Yes, you can sometimes, like, unless you're in an area where the monsters are just coming at you and you're just in one spot. But if you have to move through an area, he's just so much faster, and he just can't be near you all the time. It would be a weird. You'd be really hamstringing him to make him stick around and fight with Adrian. It's just not. It's not complimentary. So. Oh, I see what you're saying. It's a regular attack. Well, yeah. Oh, I see what you're saying. Because so they would have just whatever their normal attack is, plus the whatever the modifier cards are. I was thinking it was just 0 with modified cards because I've seen the cannons do that, where they have this attack where it's 0 damage, but you throw the modifier card on. But I see what you're saying, and that makes more sense. So you at least get a 2. Possibly with whatever else. She's just not granting them any extra strength. I get that. So yeah, that works. So again, not having used these guys, any one of these other 4, but based on what I see, those are the combinations I would try, and I'm actually probably going to. Okay, so I'll tell you right now, I've really struggled with this scenario. Adrian and Royce do not complement each other enough. They can't cover the space together. And they're running out of cards too often. I mean, they get through. They're killing stuff. In fact, right now they always get to the end, but they exhaust because Adrian can't do any of her AOE, which is what she excels at. Royce isn't there to help her, and he's zipping around doing stuff, and he's also burning up. So what I'm thinking, Cesar, our behind the scenes companion. He's going to probably bring them back to the outpost the next time. They've failed in their last attempt. He'll bring them back to the outpost as he's done once before, and ultimately, perhaps they need to go to the local beer garden and see if they can find an alternate adventurer, possibly, that might want to go and help out while the other stays back and recovers. I'm not going to do more than 2 characters. I'm not bringing a 3rd one with me. But I can see having an extra character and kind of switching back and forth to try to meet the needs. Basically, what my thought is, Adrian and Royce, they're buddies. They've been together forever. And they will probably do every mission together the first time. But on any subsequent failures, perhaps they try out some friends and try to get things going. We do have the ability, we have access to the Ice Dancer. That's also been, I'll go over her at a later time, possibly when I start talking about a little bit more about unlocked characters. But for now, until the next time, goodbye. Oh, and thanks for coming by. See you later, Ivan.